SpaceX Dragon capsule sticks splashdown landing as NASA astronauts return home after months stuck in space. Astronauts Butch, Wilmore and Suni Williams had been living on the ISS for over 9 months. A pair of NASA astronauts who were stranded in space for more than 9 months returned to Earth on Tuesday, landing in the Gulf of America off Tallahassee, Florida, bringing an end to an unforeseen odyssey. Butch, Wilmore, 62, and Suni Williams, 59, returned home after a new crew replaced them, and 2 other astronauts reached the International Space Station, ISS, over the weekend. The 4-person Crew 10 carried by a SpaceX Dragon spacecraft early on Sunday met up with the ISS, where Wilmore and Williams had been living since their planned roughly week-long mission in June 2024 turned into a much longer one. On behalf of SpaceX, welcome home, radioed SpaceX Mission Control in California. "What a ride," replied NASA astronaut Nick Hague, the capsule's commander. NASA said it aimed for Crew 9, also comprised of Hague and Roscosmos cosmonaut Alexander Gorbunov, in addition to Wilmore and Williams, to make its return to Earth on Tuesday evening. "The crew was grinning ear to ear upon their return," Hague said. That planned arrival gave the space station crew members time to complete handover duties while providing operational flexibility ahead of less favorable weather conditions expected for later in the week. According to the U.S. Space Agency, the SpaceX Dragon spacecraft has been at the ISS since it carried Hague and Gorbunov in late September. Wilmore and Williams expected to be gone for about a week after launching on Boeing's new Starliner crew capsule on June 5th. So many problems cropped up on the way to the space station that NASA eventually sent Starliner back empty and transferred the test pilots to SpaceX, pushing their homecoming into February. Then SpaceX capsule issues added another month's delay. Sunday's arrival of their relief crew meant Wilmore and Williams could finally leave. SpaceX said it planned for the spacecraft to conduct multiple orbit-lowering maneuvers, jettison the trunk, and re-enter Earth's atmosphere for splashdown near Florida on Tuesday evening after it undocks from the ISS and gets far enough away from the orbiting research station. The ISS circles around Earth from some 250 miles up. The Boeing Starliner spacecraft that brought Wilmore and Williams into space last summer and was originally slated to bring them back had helium leaks and issues with the spacecraft reaction control thrusters as it got close to the ISS. At the time, NASA said. The space agency and Boeing ended up deciding that the Starliner would make an unmanned return to Earth in early September so that they could continue gathering testing data on the spacecraft while it traveled back, while also not accepting more risk than necessary for its crew. According to NASA, it also made Wilmore and Williams members of the then upcoming Crew 9, scheduling them to return at the same time as Hague and Gorbunov. Wilmore and Williams' trip on the Boeing spacecraft was supposed to serve as a test flight to test the Starliner spacecraft and its subsystems as part of the certification process. For it to participate in NASA's Commercial Crew Program, the space agency said in June 2024, SpaceX, part of NASA's Commercial Crew Program, has conducted 10 operational human spaceflight missions, including the most recent Crew 10 launch that is enabling Wilmore and Williams to come home by bringing new astronauts to staff the ISS. President Donald Trump has used the pair of astronauts' lengthy stint in space to criticize former President Joe Biden and his administration. The journey to bring back Wilmore, Williams, Hague, and Gorbunov expected to take about 17 hours once the Dragon detached from the ISS, according to NASA and SpaceX.